Matt, the last couple of weeks have got to be sort of stressful for you, but sort of exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very stressful time for myself and my family, considering a new opportunity and thinking about leaving a place that's been home for 14 years and that I have a great deal of emotional attachment to. It's been very stressful.
Well, you've been very entrenched in here to be in one location for 14 years. Was it a difficult decision?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll always be grateful to Western New England. They gave me my opportunity, first-time head coach, and to have an opportunity to develop a program here and be so affiliated with that. I'm extremely proud of what we've been able to do here. But the Eastern Connecticut obviously provides an exciting new challenge for me.
It's sort of a different challenge, right? Because when you got appointed at Western New England part-time, it was a solid program, but you got it to the next level. Mm-hmm. You're stepping into a traditional program, one of the best in the country. Is it a matter of maintaining, or were you looking for that challenge, I should ask you? A new challenge?
Well, I think there's a lot that goes into it. I think when a job like Eastern Connecticut opens, which is Eastern Connecticut State Baseball, it's synonymous with Division III baseball, one of the most historic, programs in our business, you can't help but get excited about that for someone who's worked in the business as long as I have. And I just think there's so much that Eastern Connecticut has to offer, not just from the baseball experience and one of the history of the program and the success of the program and the outstanding facility, but also what it offers in terms of the academic experience for the student athlete that chooses to join our program and to attend the university. Having had a chance to actually go through the interview process and spend more time on the campus and get to meet the people and see the infrastructure, I was just blown away about by just how much the place has to offer.
Well, is selling a recruit to your program the same at Western New England as it is at Eastern, or will you have new kinds of challenges?
I think they'll be slightly different. I am really confident. One of the things that was tremendously attractive to me about the job is that we feel like I've done well in the state of Connecticut at Western New England. I think right now in our business, being at a higher end academic institution or being in a state school are kind of the places to be as far as student athlete recruitment. Absolutely, we feel like we've evaluated and scouted the state of Connecticut well, and we feel like that will be our foundation. We also know that we can go beyond the borders to find good players, and that outstanding student athletes can come be a part of a rich tradition of outstanding baseball excellence and get a tremendous liberal arts education at the same time and take advantage of beautiful facilities, and it's really a home run in a lot of ways.
Is part of your philosophy to bring in freshmen as opposed to going the junior college route,
Yes.
people you can mold?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of our recruiting approach, we're obviously looking for players that can compete, and then we're going to look for a player that we think fits well into our program and into our philosophy. My approach will be to sell a real pure student-athlete experience or comprehensive student-athlete experience, where athletes will grow through their experience on the field while pursuing their degree, and leave with a degree that's going to be meaningful, but along the way take valuable life lessons from competing in athletics and compete and have opportunities to compete for championships, whether that be conference or regional or pursuing national championships, and have that just really add to their total experience. So in terms of the cultivation of student athletes that we think will fit into our program, and then their maturation process, my focus very much will be to develop recruiting classes, the base being develop recruiting classes that would come in as freshmen and develop over 4 years and become a part of the Eastern Connecticut, not just baseball family, but community in general.
You have a teaching background. Is teaching and coaching basically the same thing?
I think it's absolutely the same thing. Anytime I'm asked about my coaching philosophy, I always start with the idea that I'm a teacher coach. That's my background. That's who I am. I believe in sort of the mantra that coaching is an extension of your teaching day, if you think of yourself as a teacher. So my investment will be in our student athletes on a day-to-day basis, so there'll be some teaching, mentoring, advising that will happen from the office, and then the extension of that is what the teaching, advising, mentoring, developing that will happen on the field. I believe that we make a strong commitment, or my teams have always made a strong commitment to developing, getting better, day by day, and that comes from that teaching base that we're going to put in a good day's work at practice. We're going to be coachable, and we're going to improve.
When opponents play you, opponent coaches, how do you think they characterize a Matt LaBranche team?
Well, I think Matt LaBranche team is prepared. I think my teams will always play for the name on the front of their jersey, and I think my teams are always committed to playing for each other, being good team members, being good teammates, playing for a greater cause than themselves. I think my teams are consistent. That is. Most teams, I think, when they play us, know that they're going to get a particular effort and a particular level of play on a day-to-day basis. And I think the other thing that I'm really proud of is that my teams, what I refer to as finish the job. They're tough outs. My teams in the past have always been, really tough in conference tournaments and regional play. We'll battle through elimination games. We'll try to win every pitch, win every inning, win every day. And that level of consistency, that level of effort, that desire to, as I say, finish the job is something that's been, essential to my teams.
We didn't really talk about this off the camera, but how did you develop? Was there certain individuals that you patterned your philosophy after in the baseball profession?
Well, I've had a lot of mentors over the years. One that immediately comes to mind is Coach Mike Stone at UMass. I served as an assistant coach there, and we're like-minded in terms of our approaches on preparation. He is to this day an outstanding teacher of the game and practice coach, and someone who has tremendous attention to detail. And I think I pride myself on those things as well. My college coach, Charlie Royce from Springfield College, was at the tail end of his career when I was a player for him and then a graduate assistant for him. But he gave me the opportunity to get involved in coaching college baseball, and as a very young graduate assistant, going from a player one year to a graduate assistant the next. And I look back now and realize what a great opportunity that was and how much he did for me, because I can look back now and know that I didn't know much what I was doing then. So obviously, I find myself channeling him every day at practice, things he taught us and things he role modeled, and he's a part of my style every single day. But I'm certainly grateful to a lot of guys over the years, including Mark Simeone, who I was an assistant for at AIC, it was a GA at Springfield when I was a player, and I served as an assistant coach for him, and he's been a friend over the years. So like any other coach, we take things from the people that we've worked for or worked with or gotten to know, and create our own style with them. But I think those are some of the guys that come to mind.
The two challenges you've had, your first job at Western New England and then taking over the Eastern job, they're different challenges, but when you look back on the Western New England taking over, you were a part-time coach to start out with, right? Yep. You must have been, does that feel like light years away in terms of what your knowledge over the years? Yeah.
I mean, I think, I thought I was ready at the time, and I think I was. But I certainly can look back 14 years now and feel like I'm a lot more confident about my style and who I am, and the craft. You know, being a coach at this level, and obviously feel like I've improved quite a bit. You know, in terms of the recruiting aspect and having the ability to really understand, you know, who your audience is, you know, the types of kids that you want in your program, the types of kids that will attend your institution. Those are really important things.
You spent the last couple of years recruiting against people like Brian Haley at Endicott and Dave Perdios at Curry. Is it going to be any easier going up against Ed Flaherty and Kenny Howe in the Little East?
Absolutely not. One of the things I would say to that, though, is that you know, when we're on the road as coaches, it's all the same group of coaches that are on the road together and grinding it out and working at it, and it's a great group of guys. You know, I'd mentioned Eric Podbelski at Wheaton is one of the hardest working guys in the region, and you know, we're out there together grinding, and and we're really not thinking about conference affiliation. The level of play in New England is so strong, and so, you know, whether you're talking about Coach Casey at Tufts, or whether you're talking about Eric at Wheaton, or whether you're talking about what Hales has done at Endicott, you know, we're all out there grinding, and all of those teams, regardless of conference, are outstanding teams. You know, a lot of respect for the guys in conference, obviously, with Southern Maine coming off the run that they had. We've played Keene State for years, a very good relationship with Kenny, and have tremendous respect for what they're doing there. You know, other guys I've gotten to know well over the years, like Brendan at UMass Boston, and has done a tremendous job there. Obviously, getting them to the World Series the year before we went. You know, at Western New England. So yeah, it's not getting any easier, but I also have the feeling that it's not getting any harder per se. That it's we're all going to be out there looking at the same kids, and I was doing that at Western New England, and I'll be doing that at Eastern Connecticut.
You know, before you came to Western New England had only beaten Eastern like once in about 30 or 40 games. You got there, you won 7 out of 11 as the coach at Western New England. You beat Eastern the last 6 times. So now that you've got the Eastern job, you're sort of going to now want that to change, right?
Absolutely. I think it's April 23rd. I think I'll be back on campus at Western New England and sitting in the first base dugout. And I know the guys in the third base dugout are going to want to keep that streak alive, and I would expect nothing less from them. But you know, as any of us in athletics, sometimes teams change or whatnot, and it's my hope that we'll maintain a friendly rivalry with Western New England. But absolutely, we'll be looking to break that string.
Well, your fall season's coming up in just in a matter of months. Initially, what are some of the things that you want to get in place before you have that first meeting with your team?
Well, absolutely. The next steps are to put together a staff that will be energized and cohesive, and you know, and a solid group of guys that will be able to help with the transition. A group of guys that the players will respect for their knowledge and their professionalism, and then the next step after that would be or in conjunction with that, really, is to try to get in touch with the returning players as quickly as possible, and the recruited players as quickly as possible, so that you know, I can introduce myself and I can get to know them as quickly as possible, and we can start to talk about what they can expect when they arrive on campus. I think you know, any head coach that's going to be successful, it's about managing relationships and managing personnel. I'm a coach that puts athletes first, and believe that, you know, winning follows taking care of building the right, you know, surrounding yourself with the right people, and building the right relationships and investing in people, and that, you know, then success follows those things. So that's step one, is put together a quality staff, and to get to know the team as quickly as possible, so I can build a rapport with them, so I can earn their respect and their trust, so that we can establish a good rapport, so that we can smooth the transition, and we can get to the business of winning baseball games.
Last question, Matt. Is it really too early to decide what a goal would be for your first season at Eastern? Is that way down the road, or?
You know, I think you got to begin with the end in mind, and to steal a phrase, and it's one that I've always used, and with all my teams. And without question, I start every season, and it won't change, certainly won't change taking over at Eastern Connecticut. I start every season with the idea of winning conference championships, getting back to regional play, pursuing a national championship. And I am honored to be selected to take the reins of such a historic program that already has 4 national championships, and certainly my goal to be the head coach when it wins its 5th national championship. But having said that, you have to put that out there, and then you have to put your head down and work. We'll have big goals and big dreams, and we won't be afraid to verbalize those. But then we're going to put our head down and work. And when you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. So my goals will be to get the right guys on the roster, guys that will buy into my philosophy, or will buy into the team concept, will buy into the style of play that we want them to play. And then it will be, my goals will be to get guys, going to class and doing well academically and making good progress towards a meaningful degree. It'll be to get guys practicing the way we want them to practice and improving, and we'll just continue to build on those things. And if we do those things right, and when we do those things right, then things will fall into place on the field.
Well, Matt, thanks for joining us, and everybody at Eastern wishes you the best of luck.
Thank you.